she goes. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a 2016 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack with a 6-speed manual transmission. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with the Scat Pack. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter V8 that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Power outputs are 485 horsepower and then 475 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Challenger. So first off, this one's finished in plum crazy purple, and then we do have the graphics on this particular one. So you've got the RT logo right there, and then the rest of it's just finished in matte black. And then coming down below, we've got the projector bulbs with the LED accent lights that go around the headlights themselves, and then the traditional Challenger front end with the fog lights down below, and then the front splitter. But yeah, that's everything for the front end, and man, does this car look good in purple. Now coming on the side here, we've got 255mm tires wrapped on 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then as for the rest of the wheel, I really like the design on it. It's kind of like a classic muscle car look. Obviously it has some extra spokes thrown in compared to older muscle cars, but it still looks really good. We have our Scat Pack badge right there on the side as well. And then also we've got the chrome fuel cap that kind of matches with the wheels. And yeah, that's everything for the side. Now let's quickly take a look here in the trunk. We've got all of our Dodge floor mats, and then if we pick this part up, you can see the extra storage space in there, and notice we've got a Scat Pack license plate cover. That thing's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for the trunk area, so yeah. Now let's finish things up in the rear end. So first off, we've got the spoiler here on the back that comes with the Scat Packs. We've got the camera there on the center portion, LED lights here on the back as well, parking sensors on the bottom of the bumper, and then we've got the rectangular exhaust tip coverings here on the very bottom. And yeah, other than that, that is everything for the rest of the rear. Now let's go over the door panel here on the side. So notice we've got really nice leather trim all over the door panel itself. You've got your window controls and then your mirror adjustments. By the way, these mirrors do have blind spot monitoring integrated into them. We've got the Alpine sound system. And then here are the seats at the front. Notice we've got the full leather seats with the Alcantara there on the center portion. Got the RT logo, nice bolstering. It is perforated. And then you've got the power adjustment there. The rest of it's manually adjustable. Now I have sat in the back seats of many a Challenger, so you guys know, for a muscle car, you've got the best amount of room back there. Again, you've got Alcantara in the middle of the seats, leather all around. Again, for being a muscle car, it's a nice place to be. And yeah, that's all for that portion. Coming down below, look how beautiful the pedals are here at the bottom. We've got our light control up here, and then notice the steering wheel adjustment is automatic. And there's one more look before you actually pop in. Now let's go over the steering wheel here. We've got this full leather wrap steering wheel with the cruise control on one side and then controls for the center stack on the other side with your voice command and phone controls. Radio controls there on the back portion. And then we've got the stock there for the turn signal and the windshield wipers. And yeah, that's pretty much everything for the steering wheel area. Now here's the center gauge cluster. We've got RPMs on the left side, we've got speed over on the right side, and then we've got this center screen right here, which gives us different vehicle information. The best part is the performance pages aspect of it, right? Because it shows you all these little things, including braking distance, G-forces, anything you could ever want to know. And wow, only 105. If you buy this car, you need to go faster than 105, just saying. Now here is the whole center infotainment system section. First off, we'll pop it over into reverse, and I'll show you guys how to get into reverse in just a moment. But notice you've got the backup camera with trajectory lines, and this isn't the newest version of Chrysler's camera, but it's still actually pretty good resolution-wise. And that's for the rest of the infotainment system. Again, it's not the newest version, but response time is pretty good. You do get heated and ventilated seats here with this Scat Pack and a heated steering wheel. And yeah, overall, again, it's a pretty good infotainment system. It's easy to use, and like I said, the response time isn't as good as the newer units, but it's good enough, I would say. Now here is the analog controls there for the infotainment system. We've got our parking sensors, stability control, and then the Super Track Pack button. You press that, and notice that it comes up with this page section right here. So we've got our performance control. This does have launch control, even though it's a manual. All it does is just hold the RPMs for you, and then we've got our drive mode select right here. So notice that we've got kind of like our default mode, and then you do have the sport mode, and you can change these setups with all of that. And then to pop into sport mode, it's just this button right here. Just press that, and then that'll pop it over into sport mode for you. Dual zone climate controls just down below that area, and then I love the trim all around here, and you can see the little shapes inside of it. That looks really good. And then here is the 6-speed manual shifter. We'll talk about this more when you actually drive it. Definitely one of the best manual transmissions out there. And then reverses all the way over and up. So that's how you get it into reverse. There's no push down or pull up for the lockout, just all the way over. But yeah, definitely very notchy. And then the clutch is actually relatively heavy. It's kind of like in the middle. It's not super heavy, but it's not super light either. Got some cup holders right here, and then we've got this for the center console. You've got some USBs, 12 volts, all that fun stuff. And then we've got a regular glove box lined with felt. Challenger there on the vent. And then finishing things up here at the very top, we do have a sunroof. And then notice we've got a sunglass holder, controls for the sunroof, universal garage door opener, all black headliner, and that's everything for the top. Now, if you want to see the most up-to-date pricing on this particular Scat Pack, again, check out Larry Miller, Dodge, Ram, and Sandy's inventory in the link below. And yeah, let's take it out and see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here on the Challenger. There's your visibility of the hood through both of the mirrors. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear. And, well, let's set off. So we are setting off here in the Challenger with the manual transmission. And I am going to be talking about Hellcats too, because you can get a Hellcat with a manual transmission. And at the end of this driving portion, I will decide if it even makes sense to get a Hellcat with a manual transmission. But let's actually get up and going here. I love the feeling of this shifter. I'm a little bit too close. Forgot how long my legs are, I guess. Yeah, just such a nice feeling with this shifter. Like, it's super notchy. It's really easy to tell if you're in the gear or not. Just super smooth. And the clutch is perfect. It's got a nice weighted feeling to it. You can feel the catch point really well. And we'll see how this blips. This is why I love V8s. The blip ability, I mean, it's just perfect every time when you blip the throttle. Now, I actually haven't driven one of these in quite some time, so it would take a second to get the RPMs perfect, but you can get them relatively close without ever driving the car. I mean, this is the first time I've driven a manual Challenger in probably 2 or 3 years. It's been quite some time. But aside from, oh, look at that Shelby truck. Love seeing Shelby trucks. I think that's the new, yeah, that's the new Baja that I recently reviewed. That's pretty cool. So now we're kind of getting up here, partial throttle. Definitely tons of torque, you can feel that, and it's definitely an interesting experience rolling the gears yourself. And I'm gonna come to a full stop even though I don't have to because of a green light, so we can kind of get a full-blown acceleration here. And let's see how she goes. That's pretty interesting. It definitely would take a second to get fully used to this whole setup. You can't just like right out of the bat go into very quick shifting with this car. I can tell that I'm trying to find the right word for it. I wouldn't say that it gets upset, but this car's definitely more on the touchy side with everything. And it makes sense, it's a naturally aspirated V8. But you guys can see now, like just driving it for a second, super easy to get used to the blip ability, everything. Like, look, this is 4th to 3rd, like just perfect. So much torque. Definitely, this is what a muscle car should feel like. Just the overall ambience you get with this car. And now let's get into the main topic, which is comparing this to a Hellcat. So first off, the thing that's really cool about the Scat Pack is the power is actually usable. You can actually use all of the power. Whereas with the Hellcat, it's really difficult, right? First off, you don't get like any traction whatsoever. And then as soon as you get traction, you are at speeds that are so illegal, it is terrifying, right? Whereas this, you actually get traction, and it will get you up into illegal speeds, but it takes a second, and you can actually go through the gears. The thing about Hellcats is, first off, that engine revs up so fast with the manual that it's not impossible, but it's very hard to shift fast enough to keep up with it. And that does have a crazy transmission. That has the transmission from the Viper, and that transmission's way more brutal than this. This one is definitely more user-friendly, daily drivable. The Hellcat manual, that thing, I would not want to daily drive it whatsoever. It is a brutal transmission. Aside from daily drivability and speed, I like the overall feel of this, and it's got the right sounds. Everything just feels great. The one thing that I will mention is this car doesn't like low speeds. Like if you're going under 10 miles an hour, it's not very happy whatsoever. Like you guys know that I have a Focus RS right now, and I can drive that at like 5-10 miles an hour and it's completely fine. Whereas this car, it doesn't want to do it. So low speeds, the car's kind of weird, but as soon as you get above like 30 miles an hour, everything's buttery smooth. It's great. So overall, great manual transmission, really fun, and it gives you that old school muscle car feel, especially the shape of the transmission selector itself, right? The gear shifter, it's that nice like old school ball, and so you really do feel like you're driving an old school muscle car. And so if that's what you're looking for, right, that's kind of what the Challenger embodies, is the old school muscle car in general. But on top of that, if you get a manual Challenger, it really embodies that, and I think the Scat Pack is the route to go. It's the most usable. You could daily drive it, you can have fun with it and not go to prison, right? And so overall, from the daily usability perspective and the fact that you can actually go through the gears and get into it a little bit without breaking the speed limit, I think just makes the Scat Pack really the one to go for. And this is like the driver's car. And I guess the ultimate version of the Scat Pack that would be the ultimate driver's car is a Scat Pack wide body with a manual transmission. I think that would be the one to get. But this pre-owned one, I mean, it'd save you quite a bit of money, and it's in really nice condition, actually. I mean, you guys can see, I'm 50,000 miles and it looks brand new. Now that's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2016 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack with a 6-speed manual. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram here in Sandy for giving me some time with the Challenger. Check out their inventory in the link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.